Welcome. Product of the 80's podcast. I'm Reggie.
I'm Black V. What up, bro?
What's up? This is Truth ENT Films and the AAA broadcast.
Brody, how you feeling, man? How you feeling? How's life?
Good. I can't complain, man. I'm here. I'm in good health, good spirits. I can't complain. How about you?
Man, I got a whole bunch of shit to complain about, but it probably wouldn't change nothing.
Right.
So I'm gonna stay blessed and be thankful.
Right.
Lord willing, God's grace, so that's all. Although you and somebody else, I ain't gonna say makes me question. Not makes me question my faith. Makes me question organized religion. How about that? Makes me go and do more research and studying and
I said you have to.
Yeah. Like I felt like not to throw it the show off topic of what we talk about today.
Right, because I start going.
How can I be? Damn dog, get out of here! How can I put my faith or belief in something if you don't understand the principle or the core or even the foundation of how that came to be? Like if you say like you get a book and you're like, yo, this book changed my life, but you don't know nothing about the author. You don't know nothing about the powers that be who came to be to put that book together and gave this book to you that changed your life.
Listen. One thing that my mom always told me, but it didn't have nothing to do with what we're talking about right now, but it still applies. And it applies from every fucking thing in life. You always have to consider the source. Okay?
Yes.
You always have to consider the source. And if you consider the source with every fucking thing, especially what you're talking about, like you said, I'm not going to turn this into a different conversation, but like I said, you have to consider the source on that shit because it's on that place. That shit came from one place, and it ain't near you. So, and that's a fact.
100% facts. 100% facts. So I become more at the word they like to hate. That people hate now because they hijacked the word woke. But I've awakened, become more aware. I've more just cognizant or just trying to dig more into the things that I consume, whether it's on the spiritual, whether it's on the mental, whether it's the type of nourishment I get from my body, man. I just started wanting to understand it better.
My thing is this, on top of what I just said, read it. People don't read it. They don't read it. And when they do read it, they read what people told them to read it. Oh, listen. You got to read Psalm so-and-so. Okay, well, read the next 3 or 4 before and after and see how you feel. You're not going to feel the same way. You're not.
Right.
You're not.
Yeah. I mean, there's levels to it, bro. I think, I know it's levels to it. It's levels to it with almost saying. Welcome, Laura in the house.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome.
Yo, first and foremost, definitely, I know that someone very close to you passed away. So definitely my condolences, and I'm Reggie already put me up on game. So definitely, I know he said Viz as a podcast and duo. We definitely send our condolences and prayers to you and yours.
Your cousin was cool. I definitely liked her. She was cool.
Still there. She's in the background. Just audio.
Yeah, I'm here.
Her sister, and her mom.
Yeah. That's well, her mother adopted me, so we've always been raised as sisters. So pretty much everyone in Youngstown knows her because she's silly, like a beautiful personality, cool, just really laid back, you know.
I knew her sister, and I didn't even know that they were sisters. I knew her sister from Rand.
Tisha.
But I didn't. Yeah. I didn't know. I met her because of Ama. You know her?
Ama Dawson. I don't want to say but yeah.
Yep. Because rest in peace to Savara. He was like one of my best friends. You know what I'm saying? I've known him a lot. You know what I'm saying? Once they became friends, I was always over there, so she always was over there too. You know what I'm saying?
Ama was her bestie.
Yeah, she used to always be over there when they used to stay. I think it was on Hilda or some shit like that. Yeah, she used to always be over there. So
yeah.
Damn. And that's why we got. I'm thankful for the people I have in my life. And I know we take things for granted. Tomorrow's not promised, but I appreciate it all, and I love these conversations because they make me feel more alive. Because I get a chance to know I'm still learning and growing and understanding, and not perfect, and don't have it figured out. All of it figured out yet. I'm a work in progress, but I'm thankful.
Same here.
So, is she still there? I think she's still there in the background.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah.
Before we jump into a couple of these main topics, Laura, did you have anything that you were doing or you were working on? And also, if you don't mind, quickly tell us about the experience out in Cleveland with the whole convention. How'd that go?
I got my mind going, y'all. I'm fried.
He asked you about the convention. How was the convention in Cleveland?
So there was some hiccups, and unfortunately, it ended up getting canceled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that threw me for a loop. I was like, huh? What?
Oh, I didn't know it got canceled. How did that? So I know I seen all y'all. Well, y'all all ended up back in Youngstown, didn't y'all?
So once I got so Annie and them, they stayed in Cleveland because I drove up with my family. And so once I got the call that it was canceled, I'm sorry, I got these bad baby kids in the background. Once I got the call, once I seen it was canceled, I decided that I was going to stay in Youngstown, and I was really disappointed. And so my mom knew how upset I was. And they threw me a surprise party. And that's so crazy because the picture that me and my sister took, that's the day. And we sat there for hours just talking. So it was like a blessing in disguise. So yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, that's dope. You got to spend time in the family through you surprised. I seen all the pictures were posted. I'm like, somebody was happy to be home.
Right, I seen it too. You know what that shit looked like? It looked like about 2007, the Coconut Grove. I swear to God.
Hey, you see
the Coconut Grove reunion.
Hey, you see what Ross said to you?
Dave for the Coconut. Yeah. That shit was funny.
Oh no, y'all was, but it was like, no, it was like, right. No, it was like I couldn't. My mom had threw that party. I couldn't just dip. Right. Yeah, I couldn't just do that. But I was thinking about y'all in spirit. I was like, I bet you they up there lit. And I really wanted to meet Raw in person because I knew he was going to talk mad stuff. And I just wanted to see him in person so I could roast him in person so he can get the full effect of Allura. You know?
Full effect. So no half stepping. No half stepping, the full effect.
So speaking about the Coconut Grove, I wonder if this is just a rumor or if it's true. A friend of mine, I ain't going to say his name, he posted on Facebook that no matter how much money he get, and it was silly, and I respect it because I feel the same way. He gonna say how much money he got. He ain't paying $20 to get in the Coconut.
Yeah,
do they charge? I mean, listen, I don't disagree because I'm not giving you shit to get in the Coconut. But what I'm saying, is that a real thing?
I don't know. I don't know. I've never in my life paid to get into the Coconut Grove.
Listen, I'm not paying to get killed.
Right. Right. But you know what's so crazy is before the Coconut Grove transitioned into like a black cub, my aunt used to take us there on our birthdays and walk us around. The white people in there would give us money for our birthday.
What was the old white man that used to work at the bar with the real deep voice back in the day? He did.
I do not remember his name, but I know
exactly. Used to be there too with the red hair. What the fuck is his name?
I don't remember.
Can't think of his name. Oh my God, that shit is gonna bother me. As soon as we get off,
my teacher used to stay up in there.
Listen, remember you have to use the buzz to get in and they'd look at the fucking screen before they let you in, and it'd be a line of nothing but white people in it.
Right.
Now that bitch hood as fuck.
Right. You can't pay me to go to the Coconut.
Listen, you gotta have a bulletproof vest and a motherfucking AK in that bitch.
Right.
And the crazy thing is, even back then, for real, as I'm talking this shit, when we used to go there, that shit was popping back then too. Motherfuckers was getting shot in that bitch then too.
I remember a guy getting shot in a parking lot. That was the first time I ever seen someone get shot. He was on his motorcycle. Like we all end up just going outside.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I ain't gonna say that.
I was just like, what the heck? All I seen was somebody go pop, pop, pop. And all you seen was the flash. Next thing I know, he on the floor. And I'm just sitting there like in disbelief. And then I'm standing there like everybody running down to help him. I'm just like frozen because I'm like, what the heck? We go down there, like it was like blood clots, big blood clots, because he got shot in his leg. I don't remember where else. But like he's like, pass me a cigarette, pass me. He's laying there smoking while he's shot. I'm like, I wonder if this happens often.
Man, there, hell yeah, a lot of shit be happening there. Still to this day, like this, man.
Yeah. I heard the numbers is actually down this year for Youngstown.
Yeah, there's only like 7 murders, I think, so far.
Still,
but still, you know,
7 too many.
A person that's that family, they're not trying to hear that shit.
Because it's unnecessary. The just the stuff. Like for me, Youngstown has no more real niggas no more. Because back in the day, women and children were always off limits, you know. And kids, like I remember the dudes up on Hilltop, we'd be skipping school. They'd be telling us, "Get y'all asses to school. You ain't got niggas like that no more," you know. And it's just young boys running around here with guns, just don't care. They don't have no rules of engagement anymore. And it's just really so hurtful, especially with this situation, because wrong place, wrong time.
Right.
Nothing to do with nothing.
I think that, I mean, growing up in the 90s, I know Jamar will definitely testify, and anybody with any kind of memory of that bitch, listen, I'm telling you, it was way more dangerous than it is now. But to your point, Allura, they're younger now. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a common thing for 12 and well, not saying it didn't happen, but it wasn't very common for 13, 14-year-olds really to just be getting killed on a regular basis. Now they be getting popped left and right, and they be shooting shit too. Like the availability of handguns now is not the same. Like Jamar, think about it.
We weren't worried about that in junior high. In junior high, we weren't worried about none of that. Like high school, okay, we started to worry, but in junior high, like we was the most you had to worry about in junior high was getting jumped.
Even in high school, look, when we used to go to the Mustang and Silver Dollar, didn't nobody get popped after that shit, and it was some serious fucking fights out that bitch. Serious. I mean, them South Side motherfuckers and the East Side niggas used to be banging in that bitch, but nobody shot shit.
Yeah. So, I never understood that. I mean, I got it, and there was a lot of serious people. There was a lot of serious things that came from it, and a lot of trauma that was created. But I just never understood what was it. What could be so worth it? You know what I mean? Like for it to even get that bad. Like I just remember, like I can remember when the whole gang thing really started taking over in Youngstown. I can remember not being allowed to go to the movie theaters because Boys in the Hood was gonna be playing, but Menace to Society was gonna be playing. So if you was young, even if you was going to see some shit like Oliver and Company, you still wasn't allowed to go to the damn movies. If any of those movies, we weren't allowed to go to Poetic Justice was gonna be at that mug just because it was gonna be a whole bunch of niggas that don't know how to act right. That was tough.
Yeah. And you know what? Nowadays, I mean, back in the day, I think parents kept more tabs on the kids, but today these kids don't have no curfew. They're out all type of hours. Most of them got more access to guns. It was hard for a young dude back in the day to get access to a gun.
It was.
Nowadays, it's just so easy to come across a gun, and not just a regular gun, extendos.
Right.
Well, they be having stuff. Sometimes I'll be talking to some of my coworkers, and they be always on. Not all of them, but a few of them be on that rah, whatever case. So they real hype about that song, "Tried in the Small Town," and I'm like, you know what? I know y'all like to keep a lot of hunting rifles and got you a few pistols. Y'all don't understand what these damn crazy ass kids is walking around holding these days. You go ahead, keep on inviting them to your small town. Be ready for a shootout when they come out with them extendos, and you realize that they got all kind of guns you ain't seen.
Right. They got fully automatics, motherfucker.
Mhm.
Your little old ass Dick Tracy long ass Peacemaker, that ain't shit.
It's
That
really
got
not.
Tech 22s.
Hey, bro, I promise you, the AR-15 is not the it should not be your biggest worry when it comes to what these kids has got.
Right. But I just feel like it's so sad because I always hear Black people talking about the man always want to hold us down, the government always want to hold us down. But and I'm going to speak to my community because I can't speak for the Caucasian community. But in my community, I feel like if we can't govern ourselves, then we don't have no choice but to go to the man. Ask them to put more stricter laws, to put consequences. If you're out here starting fights and someone else lose their life because of your actions, you should be held as an accomplice, because accomplice is I feel like people are out here in so much stuff. Facebook wars, TikTok wars, all of the social media. People be talking all of this stuff on social media. And I don't realize there's people out here who are not mentally stable, and they will actually pull up on you, and they don't care where you at, who's in your home, who is there, and they're gonna let loose. And then because of your actions, someone else then lost their life. And I just feel like people like that, they need a penalty too. Then maybe it would slow up on some of this beef.
Well, listen. People gonna fight no matter what you do. You feel me?
Human nature.
Motherfuckers is gonna fight. Long as there's division and any kind of division, which mean east side, west side, blood crib, you live over here, I live over there, they gonna fight. Period. That's how it go. But the thing about it is why are people going to get guns? It's because they're easy to come up on.
That's true.
It's an easy way to end a dispute. It's easy. If that gun is not involved, they're gonna fight and they're gonna live.
Right?
It's just that
Access,
simple.
man. Access, lack of respect, lack of access to it's access to things and a lack of access to uh, corrective parenting, of responsibility, accountability. A lot of folks don't want to take accountability. I think we did it on. Was it on? If it wasn't on Queens, we did it on Queens with Attitude podcast. It was on one of the podcasts we did it. Hell, it might have been this product of 80's. And we talk about accountability.
Mm-hmm.
And if you start holding some of these folks accountable for their kids, if your kids is 12 and under and commit a crime, and that's your kid and you a parent, you should be facing some jail time too. You're responsible for that mother.
I agree. And I can see if a parent is trying to actively get help and going to the authorities saying, listen, my child is out of hand, and
right.
there's
And there's a record of it, yeah.
There's a record of it, that's different. But if you know your little child is a fucking terror out here terrorizing the community, and just because you want to live your best life and you don't give a care and you just let them off the leash, nah, you need to be taking accountability for that. And I think nowadays,
but listen, you can't control these kids now. You know that too. I mean, which y'all listen. I'm not disagreeing with what either one of y'all saying, because that's where it starts. You could try to teach your kids the best that you can, and keep them on the right path. But we all know motherfuckers. Listen, I'm not gonna say their names, but there's people that went to Harding with you that we know that want to be gangster now.
I mean, yeah, that is true. But
I thought I wanted to be gangster. My mama taught me real quick, bro. Listen, I ain't had no ops except for my mama. My mama was my biggest ops. I had fights in school. I was afraid to come home. I got my ass whooped. I had to deal with my number one ops, my mama. If I ran from a fight, I had to deal with my number one ops, my mama. If I did something bad in school and she found out about it, or anything out of school and the police was called, bro, they needed to take me to jail because my mama was going to get there. It might have been over. I was more afraid of my mother than I was the police.
Me too, but wait till what about like when he was like 13, 14? You know what I'm saying?
Still afraid of her because.
And listen, what if you went to Jefferson or Martin Luther King?
Right.
Just imagine we went to those schools. Listen, we're talking about every single person in the class. Okay, we'll just speak on Martin Luther King. every single person in the class is from Bright Hill or Westlake. Every single last one of them, bro.
And those were projects, right?
Yes. Yes. What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
But not everybody who came out the projects was bad, because I ain't
saying that. But listen.
Is that what you gonna do?
If you ain't never lived, I'm telling you, them motherfuckers down there speak some goons.
I've heard of the schools, but I can't even tell you what Martin Luther King is or Harding, and I don't even know where Bright Hill is, but I've heard of it.
Put you like this: if you grew up in the projects, I stayed out there. It's one or two things: either you know how to fight, or you gonna learn. Period.
That's true.
Period. That's all to it. You're gonna have to fight. You're gonna have to, or you're gonna have to stay in the house every day.
That's
so. Are you saying that? Are you saying that? Well, we and her both can agree that yes, your environment still takes a toll on you, right? Mm-hmm. In a major way, and I'm wholeheartedly agreeing with you. So some of these kids are products of their environment, and some of these very same parents are products of their environment. So, like, no disrespect, I'll probably catch flack for it, bro. As much as you can say a certain family, and we'll use a certain family from the that everybody knows, and their last name begin with an S, or we can say the other ones, their last name begin with an F, right? You got them two big families and stuff like that. So as much as we want to say that they're a product of their environment, their family also thrived in that very same environment. You know, like, and they pushed, and rather than it felt like, or it seemed like, or we observed it like, it was a lot more pushing into that environment, into that lifestyle, instead of pulling away from that environment and lifestyle.
Well, you can't really say they thrive, because to people living in that environment, that's thriving. Someone else, they're still seeing these people as oppressed. You understand?
When I say thrived, I meant they thrive within the nature of it, as far as making a name, protecting, holding their own, or taking a lion's share in that environment. So I'm sorry, so I'll probably misuse it and stuff, but they just took the hood and just tried to own that motherfucker.
Yeah, and I know of those people that you talk about, but I don't know. Yeah.
That's because it's different for you, and the reason why is because you're not from the north side. That's why.
I am not. I'm so sad. I hate the north
side. So it's not like that. These people you're going to encounter on an everyday basis,
right?
And it's not just them. Like, a lot of them are very cool.
A lot of them was cool. But the problem is it felt like it was all of them, because the way they was raised, if you fight one, you got to fight them all.
Well, that was in our family too. That's how.
You barely got the 1-on-1 with one. You fought one, I guarantee you. And the girls was jumping in, even if it was dudes. The girls was jumping in and swinging on you too.
Yeah, that's true.
I think more so than the other, but I'm not going,
Yeah, but even though they're a product of their environment, there is options for you to want to change. You have
to be like that. The choice is yours. That's my point. Some people grow up in great family neighborhoods and just want to live the thug life. Then there's some people we know that are from Westlake that have made it to the White House.
Period.
I'm gonna use the perfect person, and Reggie, you know him, and Laura, you may have, and I'm gonna use his name, and I'll make sure I tell him, because I think he's actually he actually goes out, speaks on this very thing, because he's a product of it, but he's a survivor of it. It's Mook Edwards.
Oh yeah, perfect example. Perfect example.
Perfect example.
Him and his brothers, not just him, his brothers too.
Yeah, his brothers too. And to see that, and to see the way that he's thrived, he's turned his life around. To see the way that he's now, it's the choice is your, bro. That choice is your song.
The choice is yours. He's a perfect
choice example. Is yours. This or that. Like, we both made choices, bro. Me and you, we grew up around it. We weren't out there doing a lot of the activities, but all of our friends was, and we've had opportunities to go do and jump in some dumb shit. Don't get me wrong. we both had the same type of friends. So we had friends doing dumb shit, but it wasn't dumb shit that went as far as that. It was typical teenage, like
right.
hang out doing.
Because when we was in high school, I stayed in Bright Hill, but I did a lot of things that other people did, but I didn't do everything that everybody did.
Yeah,
you know what I still went to,
I made choices.
Right. It was my choice. The opportunity definitely was there. Hey, Reg, you want to ride? You want to go do this? Sometimes, most times, nah. No.
Hey man, we skip a school. You want to come joyride with us? And I don't care how cool I am with them dudes. I'm like, nah, man, them ain't the ones I want to go joyride with.
Man, I always tried, but my aunt always caught me. It was like, I don't understand. It was like she had a radar when I was skipping, but my sisters, they never got caught. And it's so funny because me and my sister, Tawana, was telling her last week when Tawana first got her car, we used to be skipping school all the time. She's like, "Oh, y'all tell it all now, huh?" I'm like, we grown, yeah, we gonna tell it all.
What you
gonna do? Right, you can't walk down.
But back then, we wasn't saying nothing.
Right, wasn't saying nothing, but I always got caught. I remember the one time I went home, I took my bike out the garage, and I'm like, all right, I'm about to go to the east side. I was gonna ride my bike right over Center Street Bridge. As I'm riding my bike to go kick it with my friends, she riding up the street. My aunt hopped out her van so quick, took the belt. I don't know where no, it was her purse. It was her purse. It was from her purse. Wow. I'm like, how?
Ooh, that's right.
I tried.
Yeah, bro. I just grew up. My mother made sure it was consequences, and I understood consequences. She taught me about being accountable. I got a lot of whoopings. Never got whooped for the same thing twice.
I'm so sorry about today. The kids are just.
No, that's cool. That's cool. I was going to ask you or say to you, which was a very big thing, is also with the youth, because we're talking about the youth. Is my mother was big. My parents, all my parents, grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles were all big on staying in a child's place too. And so, and staying out of grown folks' business. And so I would, even at school, you would have a teacher who might talk crazy to you. My mother would be like, if she found out a teacher talked crazy to me, but I talked back to that teacher, no matter what that teacher said, my mother was still punishing me some shape, form, or fashion. She sit there and said, that's a grown-up. You don't talk crazy to them. You come get me. That's my job. You don't go talk crazy to adults. You let me handle that.
That's smart, because that's a good way to prevent you from getting fucked up. I be telling like young people, some grown people be surprised.
Right. My mom's favorite saying was, "I'm your representative." So if any adult does anything to you out of pocket, I want you to walk away, shut your mouth, come get me. I'll handle it. And that's what I did. And I always knew when someone was being uber disrespectful and it was out of pocket, like out of pocket, I'd just be sitting there looking at them like, my mama gonna fuck you up.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody seen me snatch them goddamn pills off from back there. They was antibiotics because my face.
Oh, I didn't see anything.
Damn.
That motherfucker felt like, this nigga goes some antibiotics, this nigga burn.
No, we didn't see. I didn't see. We didn't see. We've been reminiscing of actions.
I'm about these kids in the background because I'm like, Lord, today the kids damn.
I had an ingrown hair on my face. A cyst from ingrown hairs on my face. I had to get removed of it. That shit fucked up. Look at that.
Ooh.
Scarred up. I'm gonna tell everybody you got shot. That's you survived.
No, not 50.
He was like 50.
I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna make up a lot like, man, this motherfucker hit me with a bottle, man. Shit, he random. Funny line.
So I guess that leads us into, and I don't know, Lord, did you get to check out the Ice Cube and Tucker Carlson thing? Interview?
I did not. But I did read the article a little bit of him saying that he's not accepted on Oprah's platform and The View because of his political views. But I've heard him talk on this before, though. He says if you don't get into alignment with them, basically, and he said he's never been a Hollywood person. because I don't know.
Okay.
As far as I got.
All right. So listen, I seen the interview, and before I seen it, I'm gonna go ahead and apologize to him because I had already pre-cooned his ass because I basically was thinking from before when he went and seen Trump, which I understand why he did it at this point. Probably wasn't the smartest move. I probably wouldn't have did it, but I understand. So before I really actually sat and watched the interview, I had just pre-cooned him. But as I watched it, he really wasn't saying nothing like negative like that.
Yeah, he really didn't say too much at all.
No, he didn't. Listen, and that's what I'm saying. He did not say nothing at all, positive or negative. It was just like blah blah blah. Oh man, it's just nobody wants to accept me on their platform. I tried to go on there before. The cast from this show that I produced wasn't there. Like to me, he was playing victim a lot.
Yeah.
And also he was saying stuff like, "Oh well, people always trying to make it a race debate," because what I think he didn't realize, and he probably realizes now that he went back and watched it, that Tucker was basically trying to bait him into bullshit,
creating a narrative himself.
Yes, and trying to make him go along with it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I think that Ice Cube just got outsmarted on it, but he, like I said, he really didn't say too much. But I don't like that how he tried to kept playing like he was the victim, and then he tried to say that people are making money off this race thing. Motherfucker, wasn't you in higher learning?
He was.
Wasn't you talking about fuck the police? Wasn't you steady always talking about the misjustices that happen to
the white man and yeah.
Wasn't you talking about
just another N-word? Yes.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden you just acting like, well, people are making money off it. Nigga, you made money off of it. Literally.
But I get what he's saying though.
Literally. But listen, you're right. I get what he's saying too. But he literally made money off of what he's saying other people are doing. So what the fuck is you talking about, bro?
But
what the fuck is you talking about?
But I think other people are doing it at a different rate than when he was doing it, because you got to think like Candace Owens. Candace Owens is one of them. She is one person who will find a race situation and she will turn it into a payday.
She's a coon. Yeah, she's a fucking coon. Yeah.
And I think I think for a lot of Black people too, they'll try to make everything about race when everything isn't a race situation. Even with this young girl, Carly Russell, everyone's trying to make that into a race thing. I could see some of it, but then again, I don't see that situation as a race situation.
It's not. She just so happens to be Black.
She just happens to be Black. But I do think that the media and a lot of people profit off of race. The View, especially, because they get their highest ratings when something crazy goes on between a white cop and a Black civilian, or some white person and some Black person who may hold a little bit of power and things just go left. It's just like this situation with the 87-year-old, I don't know how old she is, the woman who was going to lose her house and Tyler Perry stepped in. Now, stuff like that's a race issue, but then again, you can't even look at it as a race issue. Some people's like, that's a race issue. If she was white, they wouldn't do this. And I had to tell people like, I don't know, because me looking at it from this standpoint, it was about power and money. Some things is about power and money, not everything is about race. So I feel what he is saying, and the View probably don't want to have him on if he's going to tell them, listen, every time you have a guest on here, we don't need to be baiting each side against each other, because I'm kind of tired of it. I'm tired of the Black, white. There's certain situations where it is Black and white, but then it's a lot of situations where it's just fucking people just being fucking idiots. That's where I'm at.
You're 100% right. It's sometimes like, before we jump immediately to making it a race issue, can we get all the facts first? Can we get exactly what happened? So therefore, once we get the details of what happened, then I'm ready to, if it's a race issue, I'm ready to ride. But I'm too tired of getting caught up in my feelings, and then more and more the details come out, and you sitting there looking like, oh, hell no, this fool was wrong. You know he was wrong. You know he wasn't supposed to do that, but that ain't got nothing to do with race. Or you just get tired of it. You get tired of being in your emotions and your feelings, or you get tired of people creating these false narratives and capitalizing from it on all sides. They go to the View. You're right. They go to the View and their numbers jump up because there's a lot of people who thrive on that or want to make their ignorant speculations be coddled or identified with. So when you think of when you're the first person to think of some ignorant shit, then the first thing you want to do, you're going to go look for other people that say or agrees with you or is peddling the very same beliefs that you have. Right, or whether it's right or wrong, if someone sees it the way you do, you're always looking for it.
That's true. So listen,
that's true.
That's no different. I'm gonna give y'all a good comparison. So listen, as Tucker Carlson says about people are making money and they're pushing a narrative on certain things, he's a part of that. He's doing that shit too.
Yeah.
When he was talking to Ice Cube about that shit, that's exactly what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. And that is no different than a person that is not black, a white person telling you say for instance, if we start talking about George Floyd or any misjustice done to a black person, right? When they say, oh, well, what about black on black crime? That is a motherfucking deflection. That's a fucking deflection. And I'm going to tell you why. And he knows why, because I've said this before, Lord. Listen to this. And this is a fact. I want you to Google this and look this up. The number one killer of Irish people in America is Irish people. The number one killer of Korean people in America is Korean people. The number one killer of Mexican people is Mexican people. The number one killer of Jews is Jewish people.
The number one killing of period white white people killing white people.
Listen, no matter what you do, listen, no matter what racial group, listen, no matter what racial group I say, it's the same, and the rate is the same. And the reason why is because if a person kills you, it's going to be a person from your community. So
that's who you're around.
Exactly. So therefore, there's no such thing as black on black crime, because there's no such thing as Mexican on Mexican crime. There's no such thing as white on white crime. So there's no such thing as black on black crime. I know if a motherfucker kill me, they're gonna be black. I know that. If I was white, they would be black.
You know, if you white, you're gonna be killed by your own person, probably your family member, for that check.
Right. So what Carson does is he tries to confuse you on what the topic is.
Yeah,
he's a deflector.
Yeah, it's deflector. What about? It's called whataboutism. It's always whataboutism. Instead of let's tackle.
You say that shit with your own mouth. Yeah. Like, oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, this is exactly what they're doing. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
I watched a special and I was trying to get it. Well, I was a little reel. And this girl was talking to these people that were on the panel, and it had to be a right-wing panel. And they were talking about crime, and he was like, well, the statistics say black on black crime. And she says, no, that's not true. And they were trying to say in this reel that he owned her, but she was like, well, statistically speaking, black people make up 14% of the population. They account for 1 million murders. It was like in 2019 or something, like 1 million murders that year. 1 million, whatever case, overall crimes committed by black people, whereas white people committed like 4 million, whatever it takes, 3 times the amount of numbers. And the guy was like, well, if the woman was like, well, they have a lesser percentage, so all you're doing is they have a lesser percentage of people, and they accounted for 1 million, so all you're doing is making our point. And I'm like, no, you're trying to distract or take away from the actual fact that like crime happens, period. But don't try to use these stats. It's always the what about instead of talking about the issue at hand.
You know what I challenge all black people to do? Especially if you from anywhere from Chicago on towards this side, go out west and see if you see any motherfucking black people, because you ain't. You done. We're not out there like that. So when they show those crime numbers, Jamar, when they talk about murders, white and black, why is it only white and black? There's just as many Hispanics in the United States as there are black people.
No, actually, they got more.
So we know those numbers can't be right. Who's killing Mexicans in Texas? Who's killing them in California? They're killing
doing that to each other.
Yes. So when you count those numbers of murders, are you counting them as white people, or are you counting them as black people? Either way, it's bullshit. Either way.
Well, you know, the government can't have us thinking that we hurt each other, other than, you know, black people, because guess what?
Right.
They need a bad guy group, and we're the default bad guy group.
Right.
So that's why people aren't opening their minds to thinking. I always tell people, you need to challenge anything that you're told by the media, anything that you're told by the government. You have to think deeper. They want to control us. They want us.
Propaganda.
If we're not a herd and following after what they want us to do, then they have no control. Right. They have no control. Right. It's all about control. It's power, money, and control.
Facts.
100%. 100%. So, adding on to that, which falls into this too, it's so crazy. I had a conversation with a young man today. I made a post on Facebook about police and undercover cars that is not protecting and serving. That is undercover camouflage vehicles is for stalking and prey, right? And so an officer, he responds on there. He says, "So what do you call it when our military, the army goes over, the army fights is in a battle and they have camouflage?" And I was like, "What are you talking about, bro? That has apples and oranges." And so he went to go further, trying to explain it. Well, if someone is speeding in the school zone and they keep on speeding because they speed and they hit a kid, and there was not because they didn't see a cop there, a marked car there, and they hit somebody and they kill them because they didn't see a marked car. And I was like, okay, so what is your point you're trying to make? I'm like, because if they see a marked car, more than likely they're gonna slow their ass down, and they're not gonna hit the kid because they slowing their ass down in more than likely case. Where he was trying to say like crime was the same, the crime numbers were the same, whether a police presence was known or not. And I'm like, you can't prove that. And he was trying to say the number prove that, and I'm like, no, that can't. That's again playing with the numbers to try to prove a point you want to make without actually putting things in context to say, how do you know the numbers are the same? Is if people see there's a police presence, and then they therefore don't do shit, so there's no numbers to count because they never followed through or went through with the crime.
Listen, tag me in that argument because he's shut down right here. I'm gonna tell you how you could shut him completely down with the law. Listen, he must have never watched Cops before. If I ever run from the police, I'm gonna run from you during broad daylight, during times when kids is in school. And the reason why, if I go to a motherfucking school zone, I'm sorry if I go to a school zone, if I run from the police in the school zone, they have no choice but to abort the mission, because if I hit a motherfucking kid,
well, no, he wasn't saying if it was a chase.
They at fault. So he
wasn't saying if it was a chase. He was saying that whether police presence is there or not, and he's on here now, he said whether police presence is there or not, the numbers are the same. That people are still going to go and commit crimes. I was saying to him that
if I can see the police, I'm going to still commit a crime. That's what he said.
Yeah, the numbers are the same. And I said, you can't.
I don't know. I kind of agree with him a little bit. So there's this area, if anyone in the Charlotte area is watching, there's this area called West Boulevard, and it's West Charlotte. So West Charlotte is a kind of, it's the hood. It's the hood. And so the police will be sitting there, like right across the street. These dudes still be slanging right there while the police is there. They still be slanging. So they have a new restaurant called the Fire Wonk that just opened up. And a lot of people on Facebook, y'all can search this up, but a lot of people on Facebook, like, I'm still not going to go there because the same criminal element is still just sitting on the side of the store. Someone took a picture. Like, I want to try this food, but I'm scared if I go get this food, I'm going to get robbed too. And it is, I can speak on to something that happened to me Saturday night. I
disagree, Rob.
Same night this stuff happened. I went to the hood spot. I went to a restaurant called Nick's over on West Boulevard. Now I was uptown. Something crazy was going on uptown. All these people was up there. They was having fun. I said, I don't want to wait around for food. I go to Nick's. They have those police towers. I don't think Youngstown have them. So they have these police towers that help try to deter crime. And even though those towers are there and it's supposed to disperse, people, it's still a high crime area. People still commit crimes, even though they know the camera's right there. A guy tried to come in here and shoot all of us because he was mad at the owner. They had to lock the door. I'm stuck in there for 2 hours. I'm on the phone with my husband, like, call 911. But if something happens to me, I want you to know I love you. Like, for real. And even though the police thing was there, they didn't care. It took 2 hours for the police. My husband said he was on hold for how long, babe? With 911? How long was you on hold? He was on hold 6 minutes. 6 minutes trying to get them to come to where we was at. I was up in there for 2 hours waiting for the Popos. But they had that tower supposed to disperse, right?
Well, Rob, if an increased number of law enforcement in an area has no effect on crime, let me ask you this question. What the fuck is the point for the police? If more of you is not going to stop crime, you're useless. Right or wrong?
No, it's not that. It's just that the system that is politics. Is really politics. A lot of the time, Reggie, I'm so serious. It's a lot of times. Listen, the inmates here are not called inmates; they're called residents in Mecklenburg County. The way the sheriff has, let me not talk too bad about Sheriff McFadden, but the way he has put in policies, these guys get locked up and they're out within an hour, usually on $500 bonds. So then they right back there. So most of these cops are giving up. They're like, what's the point of going through all of this? Might catch a case, might get sued, and these guys are going to be released. I can speak to this area. They're going to be released right back. So the cops they're not cracking down the way they should. They ride by, they see these dudes doing it. He'll be back out in 24 hours. The only time they're really going to do something if they know they can get charges to stick, or if they know that person is going to be in there for a minute. And it's unfortunate, but that's what I'm seeing here.
Okay, he's got another comment, and I'm gonna jump on it before I get to his comment. I probably need to go ahead and have him come on because I think it's a dope and fair conversation, and I want to let it be known that I have, for one, no issue with policing or police officers. I understand that there is a lot of different things to it, and it's not just black and white. That there's levels to this, and there's a lot of things that there are a lot of good cops. I got friends who are police officers, and me, Mr. Hughes, have had comments or other posts before in the past, not directly with each other, where I've seen it. So it's not about that or the thing it is. The main issue was about undercover or camouflage vehicles out there when you not arresting, but pulling people over or making traffic stops. That was the main thing and the issue that the post was about, compared to where he came back with a rebuttal or a statement talking about being undercover or outside of a crack house or whatever the case, about to do a bust, which I feel like is two whole different things. Because therefore, again, even if you're doing that, you're stalking your prey, or you're probing an investigation, compared to the fact of just being out present. If I'm on a road, holidays was the main reason people slow down on a damn holidays, because police make themselves present, and it becomes a deterrent for folks speeding and running around. And so, to me, from my experience, and if you got people that's just out there doing whatever the case, then that's going to be thing. But I feel like it's unfair because there are a lot more people who get deterred from it. If you know that there's going to be DUI checkpoints in the area, you either, one, don't drive sober, or you go a whole different way to not get caught at all. It doesn't make it. It's not about whether these actions these people are taking is right or wrong. I'm not even trying to say that's a smart thing for people to do. I'm just saying, as far as I know, and I'm sure Reggie agrees to it. Like when I know there's a heavy police presence somewhere, it's either you normally chill out, like, shit. You know what, I ain't doing shit. Nothing. I'm not going over there. Hell nothing. Nah, you're gonna have some fools. We can't hear you. We can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I was saying I kind of agree with this guy. Hugh is his name. The Hughes initiative. I kind of agree with him because speaking from Charlotte, like being in Charlotte, we have street racers. We have drag car racers, like on the streets of Charlotte, on the freeways. The police will be up there in Uptown. I was with my homegirl. Somebody got stabbed and shot in the same parking lot the police was in. I had to put my truck in reverse when they started pulling out guns because we trying to be cute, like, oh, where the niggas at? You know, and we pull up to this area and the fight breaks out in front of us. Dude goes in there and grab his gun, and it's like 3 cop cars behind us in the parking lot. And we pull out, like I'm hitting my homegirl, like, oh snap, I hit the reverse. And these guys fought. Somebody got stabbed, someone got shot, police right there. So in certain areas, I don't think they give a care because they know that it's more of them versus the police. But increasing the police isn't going to do anything but cause more of an uproar in the community. What it's going to take is for the community to actually help the police themselves. So we have to get to a point where when we see something, we say something. I know y'all say that's snitching, but if we want crime to be deterred out of our areas, then we have to step up too. We can't just leave it to law enforcement.
I think you're 100%. What you're saying is like there's levels to it, and we're going to a whole different level compared to just saying like people have an issue with getting pulled over by unmarked cars or police sitting there speeding down the highway. And they ride up on you, whatever the case, because the whole thing behind it is to not prevent, but to catch you in the act.
Okay. So
to catch someone in the act, and that's where the main argument was. It's like normally, and I don't know, maybe Charlotte and some other places, maybe I'm out of touch with reality, what's going on. But for what I know and the people I deal with and I associate with and deal with on a regular basis is that normally when you see police, you chill the hell out. Of course, that doesn't mean that there aren't going to be people who still aren't going to say, I don't give a damn, I'm going to still do what I want to do. That's just going to be, that's going to be regardless. So that's what that is. But he commented first. He's got other comments I'm going to post on here. He said, it's politics. He agreed with you. It's politics. We can arrest everyone every day. But what can we do if a judge gives everyone non-monetary bills? And that goes back to one of the newer laws that was getting passed with the I can't think of the name of it. So and these are things that is a whole different conversation compared to having an argument about, not an argument, but a discussion about just having an issue with police and undercover cars or unmarked cars running around pulling people over for traffic violations and different things like that. And then he says the number one way to deter and prevent crime in any neighborhood is to assist police in investigation. Yes. Now, this part is what I want. This is what I want to say, and it goes back to what piggybacks off of what you said. It's a two-way street. We both have presence, known and thing, but it also police used to be part of the community, and a lot of times in a lot of areas. And Hughes may not. I want to say may be the exception, but a lot of these police officers don't know who people in this community is. Have no idea. They just show up. It's a job. It's not their community. They have no idea who it is, whose store this is, who was this on the block, who was this, who was this little kid, and so forth. And so therefore, we again don't trust police because we don't know who they are either. So there's going to be mistrust, and there's going to be manipulation from politicians and from news and from fake news, and we're going to run into all these things because we don't have an active community relationship with the officers that police our communities and work in these neighborhoods.
So let me say this. So Charlotte offers programs here for officers if they purchase a home in kind of a maybe kind of a high crime area, but not too high. They will get 50% off their house. They wouldn't pay full market for that house. Mm-hmm. So that way the officers are moving back into the communities and help, change the communities. So you have some officers who are moving into the communities.
But they did that, but you're right. And I'm not to cut you off. I'm agreeing with you. But they did that because of the very thing that it was acknowledging the very issue that I brought up about them not being their community.
Yes. And so that is one way to help. But, some of these officers, they're scared. They're scared because they worry about their families. I'm a wife of an officer. So he's like, when you pull up to my job, I don't want you parking here. I don't want pictures of my uniform. I don't want you in certain places. He doesn't go to the kids' school in his uniform, because we worry about our kids' safety. And it's not just from adults, it's from other kids. You know, you have to think these officers are human. And not all officers are bad. So I think that's the issue. I think that if we can get a common trust with the officers in the communities, again, then we can get to, I don't know. I'm just guessing, but it is a two-way street. It is a two-way.
It's a two-way street.
We can't ask so much from the communities if we're not going to hold officers who commit crimes accountable.
Right.
If we're not going to, and a lot of officers agree with this. There's a lot of officers, but they look like, they look like us. But
this is a cultural and historical fucking situation. This is nothing new. The only thing that's different is that we all got smartphones, the motherfucking cameras, and all this shit. It's nothing fucking new. Listen, since the police have been in existence, Black people have been targeted more than anybody else on planet Earth for beatings, killings, things like that. So it's naturally hard for us because we've heard from our parents. They've heard from their parents. They've heard from their parents. They've heard from their parents that don't fuck with the police. That's where it starts from. And it's not just with United States Black people. It's not just with us. I've seen it with my own eyes in Jamaica. They are the
don't even respect the police in Asia. It is not an honorable job.
Listen. Down there, you know how we always be talking about, oh man, stop snitching, this nigga snitch and shit like that. Listen, down there, they not even gonna play with you. They're not gonna play with you. They say informer for die. What that means is if you are a snitch, you're dead. Period. Wow. Period. Motherfuckers just be talking. They're really doing it.
I want to address this while I have it up. He says, I'm 100% the exception. I patrol the predominantly Black areas outside of Pittsburgh. The goal of the Hughes Initiative is to teach new police officers how to interact with minorities and teach minorities how to interact with police officers.
Yes, and like I said, I inboxed him. I inboxed Rob before about that, and I told him thank you because, like, at first when I seen him like making posts about his Hughes Initiative shit, I didn't pay that shit no attention. I ain't paying no attention. One day I sat there and actually said, fuck it, I ain't got shit to do with watching. And I did. And one thing I off top, I realized is that he is really trying to help the situation. He actually gives a fuck. I ain't gonna say most because I have family that's police officers too. Some police officers don't care. And it's not really so much of a black and white thing. But I have seen video footage of New York City police officers saying verbatim that they are told to target Black and Latino men between the age of 14 and 21 years old. And they give them a quota.
I mean, that was the whole stop and frisk initiative that they had when they were targeting, and the numbers said it was a successful initiative, right? Because of course
it is successful. New York City. This is a fact right now. New York City is the safest big city in the world.
So it's successful, and it's successful. So it's one of those things where you have to be careful because there's a micro and a macro to it. And the micro is like once you start. I'm very big on just because something works or it has a positive effect.
Don't mean it's right.
Don't mean that it's right. Because once you start allowing and start giving up some of your freedoms, some of your basic rights, and some of your basic freedoms, it opens the door to where you're going to cut. Everybody that's doing that initiative is not doing it for the right reasons, or not a good cop, or not a good guy, or not a good person. Period. We all know that there are horrible people in every line of work that have authority and don't know how to handle authority, don't know how to work with authority, and create bigger problems than it needs to be. And so when you start giving up freedoms and rights, you start creating and opening up for them to have the chance to go abuse the power that they have. So it sounds good. You said something earlier, and that is what you said earlier about crime, and us wanting to make changes. is the very reason that a lot of black people were fed up in the 80s and 90s with everything that was going on. And that's how the 3 strikes law passed. Is because everybody was fed up, like, yo, hold them accountable. Let's get them off the street. Let's go ahead and let's handle this. And then we did that, and then we were like, oh my gosh, like look what's happened. They're locking our boys up. 3 strikes is petty crimes because you open the door. Be careful what you ask for.
So, but that's why we have to carefully consider what crimes need to be 3 strikes. You know, I don't feel like a person should spend the rest of their life in prison for drugs or certain things, you know. And hey, Cuddy, as far as I'm concerned, if a person chooses to do drugs, that is their decision, because now they're prosecuting people for overdosing.
Wait a minute. Good.
Because I know you gotta give it to me. I know it. So I just feel like if a person makes a conscious choice to do drugs, that's on them. I don't understand being prosecuted for murder. Should you go to jail for drugs? Yes. But that's like me going into McDonald's and me buying French fries. If those French fries kill me, should McDonald's be held liable?
Wait a minute.
Go ahead, bro.
Okay, so listen. On that, there's different levels to that. And like he said, doing drugs is different things too. So as far as what we were saying about the unmarked car thing, now those situations, I feel like they're necessary for something, but not for traffic violations and not to search for drugs.
Right.
If you're using those resources to stop major crimes and to save lives, go ahead. But now, as far as what you're saying, Allura, now listen, I'm going to have to at least disagree with you at least by like 80%.
Well, go ahead. Do your thing, boo.
And I'm gonna tell you why. I do agree that, listen, if your ass out here and you getting high and you die, technically it is your fault. It's not all your fault. I'm gonna tell you why. See, a lot of times when people nowadays die, when they die, Lord, from overdosing, I would say at least in this area, about 40% of them are not willfully overdosing, and I'm gonna explain to you why. Now,
okay,
if you are on fentanyl and you know you're on fentanyl, right, and you go buy a bag of fentanyl and you die, well, you knew that could happen, right? Now, if you go out and buy some cocaine and you snort some cocaine and you die from that cocaine because it has fentanyl in it, somebody killed you. You were murdered. And the reason why you were murdered is because somebody gave you something that you did not ask for and you did not know. That's different. You feel me? Also, a lot of people be selling them fucking fake M30 Percocet pills from Mexico. If you know that Percocet is fake or could possibly be fake, and you take that Percocet knowing that, that's kind of your fault.
Right.
Now, if you go buy that and you don't know that, whoever sold it to you killed you.
Okay, I get that. I agree with you on that one. So
that's the 50% why I don't agree with you. The other 25% is why I don't agree with you. It's like, okay, why the fuck are y'all selling that shit? Listen. I don't give a fuck. Listen, I don't give a fuck if a motherfucker want that shit or not. I'm not selling that. Okay. I'm not selling it. I'm not doing it. I'm not fucking doing it. And the reason why I'm not doing that is because you cannot act like you don't know that you killing motherfuckers. I'm so tired of people like, oh man, rest in peace to my dude, man. That was my cousin, man. That was my boy, man. No, the fuck it wasn't. No, the fuck it wasn't. You sold that motherfucker some fucking fatty and you killed him. What kind of nigga is you? I don't give a fuck how poor I am. I will go out here and rob. I will do anything before I do that. I'm not fucking.
I agree, this gentleman.
And listen, I know people out here looking at me, this nigga is snitch. I don't give a fuck what you think about me. If you do that shit, you are a fucked up person. Period. I don't give a fuck who you is. I don't care if you're my friend. I don't care if you're my family. I don't give a fuck if I fuck with you every day. I don't give a fuck. you ain't shit. Period.
I can agree with you on that. Now, like just hearing the way you put it into perspective.
Every fucking week, one of my friends dying from that shit.
Damn.
Every week. Every
week.
Listen, a few years ago, we used to think this shit was some white shit. Remember, we used to think that, oh, they wasn't saying that when it was crack and the black people was on crack. Listen, the same niggas that was smoking crack back in the day, the motherfuckers still smoking crack and they're alive right now.
That's true.
Unless they didn't went to that fucking Fetty. Yeah. People that get on Fetty, they don't die years from now. They're going to die within the next couple weeks. Period. So if you sell that shit, your ass weird.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I get what you're saying. I agree with that. Now that you put it from that perspective, I get what you're saying.
Because you're killing people. How many people you know didn't die from ODs? How many?
That's the thing. I only know one person, but that was back in the day, though. And that was off the Darvin. So now that what you're saying, like,
no, you need to open your eyes. These niggas that you know in Youngstown dying, they dying from ODs. They're not health problems. They ODing.
See, and that's the thing.
Listen. Rest in peace to my nigga Cameo. Should I keep going?
Damn, really?
Yeah. These niggas out here out ODing, man. And the thing is that people can easily just say, like, oh, man, this motherfucker dying. Oh, they just out here on drugs and they won't quit. Listen, people don't realize how addictive and how potent that shit is. Listen, motherfuckers can get off of that shit and be clean off it for more than a year and it's still calling them back.
Laura, you want to read that?
Still calling them back.
Yeah, that Fetty had my life in a bind. Just being in an apartment building, I wouldn't even let my kids outside after.
That's what I'm saying.
Nonsense. What is that?
What I'm saying. And if a person knows that, how bad? Listen. The reason why people do that shit for anybody that I don't know is because when they don't have it, they're gonna get sick.
What is she said? What is Fetty? What is Fetty?
It's fentanyl. It's what I'm talking about. It's what I'm talking about. Listen, anybody basically on fentanyl, you might listen. You can kiss them goodbye, basically, because you're gonna kill them. Period.
Oh my
fast
God.
too.
Yeah, what you said about the holding those accountable. I definitely feel you should. Both should be held accountable. Those that are the users, because you pick up this habit for whatever reasons you got. We all got reasons why. We all got reasons and excuses why we do some dumb shit in life, right?
That's true.
But you still have to be held accountable for your actions, as well as you get held accountable for your inactions. And that's on both sides.
You can't be out here selling death to niggas, man.
Yeah,
that's true. I didn't even know. To be honest, when I hear people dying,
rest in peace, Vaughn. I can keep going and going and going and going and going.
I never think of why they would.
Rest in peace, Lyndon. Rest in peace, Chappelle.
Scary, always on the phone with the cops.
You hear what I just said, Laura? Rest in peace, Chappelle. I can keep going.
Chappelle.
Yeah.
Wait, who?
Chappelle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Nicole Adams. I keep going. I can just keep going.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I do agree with what you're saying, Reggie, about holding those to show accountable.
Rob, listen. See, it's a choice in a way, and I'm gonna correct you because listen. Think about what I'm gonna say to you and see if this makes sense to you, Rob. All right, come on, man. Let's do some Fetty tonight. Get high, sell, and let's possibly die. That don't even sound attractive till you do it. No, that's not how it starts.
That was like ecstasy. We stay away from that because ecstasy was associated with death back in the day.
But listen. Look, people don't start on Fetty or heroin. They start from taking Percocets or motherfucking Xannies. And the reason why is because, well, with Percocets, they make it from the same thing. They make it from poppy seed. It's an opiate or opioid. Anything that's an opiate or opioid is all made from the same fucking thing. When they don't have it, once they get addicted, they start getting sick. Shitting, throwing up, stinking, whatever they got to do, they're going to go get that shit. They're still from any fucking body. And the difference is now it's fentanyl. It's not heroin no more. So people are dying from it because it's not the real thing. It's synthetic. And it make them come back in 2 hours. Dang. So they ODing left and right off the shit.
I had no clue.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yes, and it's more affordable. It's cheaper and it's
like,
more potent.
You?
Yes.
And motherfuckers are taking it knowing that there's a high probability you just gonna die after taking it once.
But that's not how it starts, though. And I just told you, it starts with them pills.
Damn.
Because listen, pills is not available like that. Back in the day, everybody had perks. When Dr. Pulaski was alive, everybody had pills. He did. I mean,
yeah, he was just having them films like they was freaking candy.
Now that they regulate them shits, the people that was on that shit, they on Fetty. or they did, or both.
See, I'm blessed. It's so crazy because my cousin, we was just talking about this last night, but we was talking about like marijuana, and she was telling me, she's like, Cuddy, I could never smoke with you. She's like, man, every time we smoke, we always had to call that 911 on the hospital because I was paranoid, and I I used to get paranoid. So after that, I was scared to try anything else. I mean, I tried like trims before, but again, in the hospital, thinking I'm dying, and I realized drugs was not for me.
That shit is sad.
And I guess that's why I have that disconnect with it's a choice, because I realized right then and there, like, this ain't for me. And it took for my cousins to sit here and tell me, I never forget my cousin Titi. She sat there and she said, Cuddy, this ain't for you. This ain't, drugs is not for you. Leave that alone. And I was just smoking pot. I was just smoking pot thinking I was seeing ghosts.
Well,
Like having panic attack, passing out. And that's why
Well,
I was like,
I tried an edible one time, and never again in my life. I'm just saying no. Better yet, I need to find me a Dare T-shirt. If an edible had me acting a damn fool, I know drugs is not for me. Weed ain't for me. Edibles ain't for me. None of that for me.
That's because you're a drinker.
Yeah.
Yes, y'all look that we all got our vices. We all got our
listen, I'm gonna stick to the vices I know. Stick to the waterfalls.
I am trying to break away from alcohol because I don't have issues, but I realize I drink a lot, and I'm like, dang, if I go out and then I'm like this, my homegirls will still be holding 1 cup, and I'm bending 4, and I'm ready for the next 4 to come on, and I was like, you know what, this is the path to an issue. And I'm like, I gotta stop. So that's why I decided that I was done. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want this to become an issue.
So listen,
it's harmless now.
I know you don't know this, Laura, but listen, I ain't had a drink in 5 years. Last time I had a drink was February 8th, 2018.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Anybody that can tell you that is because they're recovering from it. So if a person be like, I don't drink anymore, you be like, well, how long? They be like, shit. And it been like, they thinking of a lie. So I know exactly the last time I drank, exactly how much I drank. And the reason why I don't drink is because I'm alcoholic.
Yeah. Reggie, I respect that.
I respect it.
That shit was hard as hell to quit.
Yeah.
That's why, like I said, when I seen you post some pictures, it looked like the coconut. Because all them people there, even though I know 90% of was your family, them niggas used to be in the coconut with me getting drunk as fuck. That's how I know.
Yeah, we all used to be up in there. Everybody, the whole
even Precious and Pinky, little young asses, used to be in there. They was like 12, 13 fucking years old. They used to be in there.
Well, I told you we was young. They started us off in the coconut young, but we used to go there like for our birthdays because the guys would give us money for our birthday. The damn dog, our dog used to be in the coconut grove. Our dog Joey used to be in the coconut grove.
Man, I used to be some wild shit.
You said, Reggie,
wild shit. Huh?
You said same reason I stopped drinking. I think it takes strength for people to be able to acknowledge when I always thought like when something hurts or something is hurting you, in our culture a lot of times we like to call out folks like, oh, you weak, you ain't tough, you can't handle that, you're not strong enough. And to me, I think anytime you can admit that you have a vulnerability or that something has gotten the best of you, I always find that like strength to me. Like I always looked at that as somebody who's strong enough to admit that this isn't for them, or they can't handle it no more, or they don't like what it's doing to them and they need to quit. And it's strength every day that you can just continue to be like, nah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. There was a time, if I ever started feeling like I get depressed or whatever and I drink more, I just stopped drinking, period. Not just on the weekends. I cut it off, period, until I feel I'm at a better place. And if I never come to that better place, then I'm never going to sit there and pick up a drink again, because I started using that as a dependency, or started using that as something to get me over. It used to be, you go out clubbing. I couldn't go out clubbing unless I was drunk because it was like I was too afraid to go holler at chicks unless I was drunk as hell, because I ain't give a fuck.
Dance, nothing.
Right. This week was really hard because I was sitting there like, I need to get messed up, bro. And then I was like, nah, Nah, I gotta hold on, and that's what I've been trying to do. And it's hard because right now it's like you don't want to face reality. Like you just need something to help you cope, and I think that's how people end up getting addicted on things, is trying to process things. But you know what I said to myself, I was like, if I take this path, I'm not going to be clear headed to make any logical decisions, and that's why I
Thanks,
always
bro.
I need logic. Like I need to be able to be logical.
Did you know? This goes on what
Hey,
you
my
said
parents do.
about. I believe this is studied. I want to think of the study, but they were saying that there's like an addictive gene.
But they ain't quit
Like,
yet.
huh?
Oh, I was
Oh,
talking.
yeah,
It
an
is. I
addictive
mean, yeah,
gene.
I believe. Yeah,
Yeah, because like
it's a
you
fact.
said, my father smokes crack and my mother drank for 30 years before quitting. I know it's in my DNA to be addicted to something. And so, yeah, yo, those are things to walk out for. It's no different than if you know high blood pressure is in your family, you might be healthy today, but you should always be aware and paying attention because it make you be surprised what creeps up on you.
That's
Hmm.
where I got my shit from my family. My
My
father.
father died of alcoholism, and even though I knew that it killed him, you know, I found myself, his choice of drink was Wild Irish Rose. I
Damn.
found myself going to buy that. And I don't know what was wrong with me when I'm like, just killed your dad. And I'm just going to buy it. Or I'm going to buy a Mad Dog because those was his drinks. And I'm just sitting there just drinking it. And I'm just like, something got to be wrong with me. Like, why am I doing this? And it takes a lot of self-reflection. And a lot of people aren't strong enough to do that. And I'm gonna say strong enough. A lot of people don't know how to do that. They don't have the tools. I had the tools because my aunt was always big on sit and think about what you did and why you're doing it. And
Listen, the way I stopped is I went to rehab. That
wow.
a lot of times when people listen, a lot of people that's addicted to things like even fentanyl, crack, alcohol, they more embarrassed to go get help than they is to walk around being a fucking bum. And I know that for a fact because it was me for a long time. And I just look back at myself like, man, I really used to think I was a shit too, but ain't have no motherfucking money, ain't have nowhere to go, and just thought I was that nigga, boy.
Sorry to hear that.
Listen, as soon as I get some money, I'm at the liquor store. Even when I stayed up in Akron. Listen, the liquor store opened at 9 o'clock at motherfucking at the Giant Eagles up in Akron. If I wasn't standing there by the time they opened the gate, right, they'd be like, "Where you at? You late today?" I'm talking about 9:10. They'd be like, "You late? What's wrong? You got a car accident or something?" Because man, I'd be standing at that bitch like a zombie waiting for that motherfucker.
Damn.
For real.
Uh,
Reggie, I'm
For real.
so proud of you.
Thank you.
Proud of you, man. Chantel says my dad died of alcohol abuse, which caused a heart attack. Um,
My father's caused a stroke.
yeah, damn.
That shit ain't no joke. But see, as a culture, we think it's okay because they say, thank you, Tish. We think it's okay because they sell it at the store. You know what I'm saying? And like a lot of people, like a lot of us, either we from down south or our families from down south. Like my family, they from down south, both sides. You know what I'm saying? They're country niggas. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing better to do. It's nothing better to do. They just sit there and just drink all fucking day. There's really nothing to do. Ain't nothing but woods and trees and fucking mosquitoes and squirrels and deers and shit. Ain't nothing to do. So these motherfuckers be sitting there drinking 30 packs of natural ice and shit. Natural
Wow.
life. Yeah.
Sonora said, I quit drinking in 2019, but COVID had me stuck in the house, lost my job, so you can call it depression. I'll go weeks. I'll go a week now rather than months. Wow.
And listen, I had two fucking jobs living in Youngstown. Statistically, the first or second cheapest place to live in America. I had two jobs living with my mom. Budgeted my money out like, all right, I need this amount of money to drink this day. Okay, well, this day I'm gonna drink Top Shelf on Sunday. The rest of the week I'm gonna drink Cerveca. I'm gonna get 3 miles on Thursday, like that, on some stupid shit.
I used to be walking around with a bottle of
You said,
Cisco in my purse. That's how bad it was. I
hey,
had
Rick, you said alcoholism had you being financially responsible, budgeting out.
Budgeted my money. I literally wrote the shit down one day.
you
I'm gonna
have
say this much.
like I was there. I would be like $20 for this, $20 for this. Okay, I got $100 for the rent. Okay, this yes. I used to be like, I used to tear my money up.
But look though.
To tear paper up and write with like make strips and write how much I had and what it was for and put it in my purse. That's how I used to delegate my spending. I had my Mira with Joanna money. I had my drinking money. And then I had like just my money for me to go, be a lady, get my hair and my nails done, and get out.
You're saying some responsible shit in there. I heard you say, I swear, at least 2 fucking responsible things. This much on my rent, and I'm gonna do this. No, nigga, I'm talking about staying with my mom.
Damn.
And I was trying to see what bitch gonna let me come over and fuck them. Because I don't got no place to fuck these hoes. I mean, these bitches inboxes, text them, everything. Don't got no place to fuck them. No place.
Damn.
Yeah, it feels so good to be sober. I'm so at peace with
like,
myself.
Man, you silly as fuck, bro.
Learning to meditate and balance things out. That's what Chantel says. It feels good to be sober. I'm so at peace.
You know how good it is to know I got $6 in my pocket and I'm not about to go get a pint with that shit.
Right. We'll have you planning everything out. Even when you go to the bars, like when you go to the bars.
Hey, listen, shout out to all the females that used to be fucking me when I was a bum.
Reggie, you owe them some money.
Y'all the real MVP, I swear to God.
Y'all the real MVPs.
Yeah. Lord.
Yeah, boy.
Wow.
I think I'm too cheap or too broke to have habits, man. I'll be like, nah, because I only drink top shelf as it is. So I'm like, nah, we're not getting drunk this weekend. I can't afford no bottle of this or a bottle of that.
I don't know. Being a woman, it's easy to have a habit because back in back in those days, men would just come and just walk down the street, be like, "Hey, how you doing?" Come sit on people's porches and just smoke with them, and just kick it or just pull up, like, "Yo, what's up? I got a bottle. Come get in the backseat of my car. Let's have some shots. Oh, you got enough for my mom and my cousins too? Yeah, tell them to come out, come get a shot." Just like, all right, cool. Like, that's how it was back in the day. Or, hey, you want to hang out? I got some weed. Like, all right, cool. Come pull up to my mom's crib. It was always come to my mom's crib. Like, for real.
Let me ask you a question. Now, what you saying that, right?
Yes.
Because I didn't have conversations with older dudes and younger people, too. I hate when dudes be like, man, I ain't tricking on no bitch. I ain't never tricked a day in my life. And I be always telling them, yes, you have. They're like, how you know? All right, well, have you ever bought females like bottles and shit and went over there and smoked them out and all that shit? But you wanted 5 for me, though. But you went over there and you smoked them out, smoked the whole Ave, got them a bottle and some cigarettes and shit like that. Right. That's tricking.
I can name 10 dudes right now and used to just pull up. I ain't never slept with them. Ain't never gave them a kiss. And that's why I'm like, see, nowadays, I think you have to give up something for that. But back in our days, it was no requirement but them just to be in your presence.
Right. But my thing is this. So listen, I'm not saying I never did it because I will. But my thing is this, though. Let's not try to pretend. Listen, let's not try to pretend that's not what it is. Because that's what it is. And that's my point to him. Like,
yes, you do. It might not be tricking. I think it's good conversation. I know a particular person used to come hang out with me and just sit there and just smoke and be talking.
But look, this is what I'm saying, though. This is what I'm saying. What makes it tricking is the fact that if a nigga is doing that in hopes of possibly getting some ass and it's costing him money, it's tricking.
Really?
It is, and I
might be a little bit naive because I always thought it was a good conversation. Because
he's trying to talk you out through draws, and you really enjoying the topic.
I did. I ain't never seen no one was trying to get the draws because they ain't never got it.
Listen, do you know how many times? Listen, okay, when it comes to women and having sex, it's a lot like baseball. Okay, so I don't know if you know the statistics on baseball.
I don't know nothing.
But the best home run hitters also strike out the most. So basically, if you're not swinging, you ain't hitting.
You ain't hitting.
So basically, the niggas that try the most and get shot down the most, they're shot down the most. Them also the niggas that get the most too.
Wow.
Facts.
Shocking.
Facts.
Shocking.
And they also can take it better.
Mm-hmm. My brother said the realest thing in the world to me.
Female shoot me down, my feelings hurt. I'm like,
yep.
You fat bitch. I'm be so depressed.
Why she got now? She fat?
I don't care if she's skinny. I'm still gonna say she fat.
Wow, Reggie, I never knew that about you, friend. Dang.
Listen, you don't know what go through niggas' minds.
I really don't.
Hey, Lord, them first few rejections in life, a strong man gets over it at some point, and then you become numb to it. But at first, your feelings be hurt like hell. I don't think women be understanding, bro. When y'all be saying no, that shit lingers for a while till you get used to it.
But here's the thing: none of those guys asked me to, like, or tried. So I honestly thought we were just like really great friends. Cause like it's so funny because my cousin Titi was just talking about it last night with me. She's like, you remember that one friend of yours who used to pull up and he had that plastic on his window and we was getting high and I burned his plastic by accident? I was like, yeah. She was like, girl, what happened to him? I was like, girl, I don't even know. This guy for a whole year used to pull up to my house, just bringing weed, just sitting on the porch with us and smoke with all my cousins. And I ain't never even think that he wanted any.
No, Chantel, that's not true. Because if you ain't got it, you can't trick, right?
Yeah.
Damn, that just made me forget my.
It's tricking whether you got it. It's tricking if you ain't got it because you going in the hole. It's tricking.
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying.
It is. But call it how you see it.
But you know what's so funny is though, every time he would leave, I would call the one dude who was never freaking available, but he had that good. Dang.
And you saying, oh yeah, I know what I was about to tell you. You was talking about you don't know what happened to him. She burnt a hole in his motherfucking window. That's why he ain't come back.
He did come back. I don't know what happened to him. I broke his car door too, so he probably didn't come back after that.
Oh yeah, you over destructing property. He got tired of having this good conversations with you and you not putting out.
I don't know what happened to dude. I really don't. I mean, he was a sweetheart too, but I don't know. He was there.
But you ain't giving him no play. You gave a toxic dick having dude some play.
I mean, toxic dick having dude end up becoming my baby dad, end up in a relationship with that toxic nigga. Can't stand him.
Mm-hmm. That toxic dick eat like them sick. Damn.
My bad, y'all.
It's always the worst. It's always the worst ones for you. That's either always available. If you a dude and you be like, bro, I need to stop fucking with her, but she's always available, or y'all always making time. Like, who you with? She like, I'm out with my friends, and you can tell she out with a dude, so I'm coming through tonight. No, all right, fine. Like, yeah.
But that's the thing, though. I never had interactions like that. Like, never. Like,
you just sat there and said you burned the hole with plastic on the window. He left, and then the toxic dick came through.
But he had never told me that he wanted to be intimate or he wanted more. He was just always around. So
you were just having a good conversation. You missed it.
Yeah. I don't know. But that's the thing, though. I've always had nothing but male friends. All of my friends are male. And none of them, I've only slept with one. Only one of them. And I don't know. So for me, and he was very direct. Like, listen, I really like you. This and this and that. And I'm like, you know what? You're not so bad neither. Then we hooked up and then we realized, I realized it wasn't that great. So I was like, we should just be friends because, it wasn't, I wasn't feeling it, but he never wasn't my friend again. We were just friends.
This is what I learned about you, not you per se, personally you. As you see what you said, wear your clothes. I seen the pictures you posted in Youngstown. We was out with your friends or whatever, talking about a great dinner with my friends. I'm like, where is her clothes at?
Your grandmother used to get on my case. It was some orange shorts. I remember them shorts.
I'm not going to comment on the situation because I understand that she's married, so I'm not going to say how it's in my mind. So.
Ooh, those shorts used to be on the south side and east side. Wow.
See, Laura, this is always with people like you. When you got the ones who you done came over a couple times, you done tried, and you start to get the feeling that you in a friend zone. I don't want to be. If I like you, I don't want to be your friend. I'm cutting it off. If I like you, because it's gonna bother me more. I ain't sticking around because it's gonna bother me that I can't get with you. And not all the times, but 6 out of 10 times, you're probably giving some action to the toxic dick nigga anyways all the time, and then I can't get none, so I'll just cut my losses.
Yeah, but listen, look though, you about 80, 85% right on that one. Listen, but see, You don't got a lot of sisters. I know you got at least one sister, but you don't really got a lot of sisters, do you?
No, I got 4 sisters.
Oh, okay. Well, that's really besides the point. But listen, I know from me, I learned a lot of shit from my sisters and shit. So I got a lot of brothers, but I got way more sisters than I do brothers. You know what I'm saying? So I listened to a lot of shit that they were saying. So, you know, growing up, a lot of times, a lot of females was my friends, even right now. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, sometimes, though, you can get some sympathy pussy, though. Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I gave him. I think that's what that was.
Sometimes if you just be right there at the right time.
Oh, yeah, those happen. Mm-hmm. Those happen. But if you really, I'm talking about the ones I really like.
I mean, it's not good to try to shoot for that because you'll be a mad motherfucker trying that shit.
Bro, it'd be the ones that you really like, and then it's so... And I'm talking about those that you really like you really feel it, and not just trying to smash. But you get put in that friend zone, and then I'll be like, I started learning, like, bro, I need to walk away because the longer I stay, keep hoping that one day she gonna come around and realize I'm a good dude right here. It wasn't gonna happen. So I started being like, let me cut my losses. Now, don't get me wrong, I might go 6, 7, 8, 9 months, 2, 3 years and spin the block and see you again.
But that's the thing, though. Like, even with him, I don't want to say his name because, you know, I don't want him to feel like he embarrassed or anything. We had a whole conversation afterwards, you know, and I told him, like, you know, it wasn't really hitting for nothing. And I know me. I know that I need that. Like, I need for it to, it has to be decent, you know, because then I'm going to cheat on you. And I don't want to cheat. And I don't want to hurt you. And so he was like, I could respect that. And we continued to be friends. And feelings, even though like for a month he was in his feelings, he kept trying. And I just told him, like, listen, I absolutely love you. I think you are an amazing person, which he is. He's an amazing person. But we are still friends to this day. And we're like family, you know. And sometimes you have those experiments, which I don't have experiments with friends. One of them. And you just know that it's not it. And I'd rather not hurt him, and then we both be out of each other's lives, especially if we hear about each other.
But look, though, let me put you up onto some game, Lord, that I know that you don't know. Only he know.
Ooh.
Listen, sometimes a nigga dick got a mind of his own.
Really?
Listen, sometimes, when I was young too. Sometimes it's been like females. I'm like, yeah, man, I want her so bad. And then one day she just said, here you go. You want some pussy? Here you go. Just call you on it. And it's just like your dick, just like, no, dude.
On the spot.
It can happen.
They gotta say too much. You look in your eyes. I can tell you.
You can't tell me, Jamar. You can't tell me that ain't never happened to you before.
Oh, yeah. And I ain't saying no.
Listen. I'm like, I was so upset with myself. Like, damn. Listen, one time, and this is another reason why I don't drink and shit like that. I don't do drugs. Listen, the healthier a dude is, the less shit that he do, the better he is. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, when I used to be drinking this shit, man, sometimes I'd be
you had that you serving that sloppy thing.
Letting them down. Listen, one time this chick, I went to smash her so bad I went to high school with her. I ain't gonna say nothing. I went to smash her so fucking bad. Then one time she came and spent the night at my house. Got too motherfucking drunk. I don't know what the fuck happened. All I know is she told me about 2 years later. I mean, she didn't give me no pussy after that for years later. But she told me about 2 years later, she said, listen, that was the worst dick I've ever had.
God damn. She let you get your get back though, right?
It took so fucking long. That's what I did too. All I could do was think of Mike Jones. I swear to God. Don't feel me now. Nigga, I was stretching and everything. I'm like, listen.
Hey, bro. Hey, you had to redeem yourself.
You think I'm bullshit? You thinking by this time I was clean and sober for about a year. Dogged this bitch. Dogged her.
Wow.
Bad, running and everything.
Well,
talk that shit.
Since y'all don't know him because he is from Cleveland. Well, y'all might know him. He's from Cleveland. But the problem wasn't that he couldn't get it up. The problem was this. It was this size, but like right here. Like And it was just like, yeah, I couldn't. It was like, oh, it was like, damn, how come the most people? And it's just like, I'm like, what do I do with it? You know? And I was just trying to blow on it. I'm like, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
And she didn't get him hard. She gave him goosebumps. She didn't even get him hard.
No, it got there. It got there. He was just saying he was so nervous and like he's sweating, like sweating. And I'm just like, what do I do with this? Like, what do I do? Because I'm sitting there like, I don't even know how to remove her. Like, because like I've always been I've been a figured woman, and I just didn't know how to like I
couldn't get the angle.
Right, because I'm just like, how
y'all over there scissoring and shit.
Right.
You're bumping coochies.
Right.
Clip the clip.
I'm like, I can't. I didn't want to do him like that. I didn't want to hurt him. I knew
that. Please don't say that man's name. I don't want this man coming in.
I said I wouldn't. I don't want to embarrass him.
You'll leave Tiny Tim alone.
You do. You're gonna have to fight him.
Right. Yeah.
Don't fuck your nigga the police shit. You got me fucked.
Oh, he won his redeem, but you can't redeem coming up short.
Rematch. You never know. He might have went back to Miami.
He couldn't help that he was born that way, and I was just like, maybe if you eat some more protein or some carrots, I don't know.
Maybe he got cut wrong.
Whoa! Maybe. Did you see what she said?
I had a dude I was talking to for a while. When I finally let him get some, his balls was bigger than his. I seen one of them, girl. I seen one of them.
Balls in it.
I seen one of them. I'm like, what the fuck?
Lean on me when you're not long. I'll be your friend.
This is
wow. Wow.
Right.
What's up with them contracts though?
What contracts?
The off-season signings.
Who signed? Where? Ain't nobody signing. Everybody get no money?
Who? Are you sure? Did you hear about Jaylen Brown?
Oh, well, his $300 million. Did you see what he said he want to do with the money?
I respect it. So I definitely
something about building wait, I'm gonna put that up. I can't let this go without being said.
The guy who's talking about building Black Wall Street?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I like him. His idea is solid. But who's going to help him achieve that?
It's going to have to be some other players. She said, I was like, what happened to the rest? He had the nerve to say, it's not hard yet.
What happened to the rest? Oh, damn.
He had a to be continued sign tattooed on his balls or something.
Still growing, still loading.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Hey, bro.
My thing is though with him getting that, I'm definitely glad that he got it.
Yeah.
I just be thinking about just a few years ago. Remember we always saying about Chris Paul, like, man, ain't nobody gonna want to give him that $40 million. Man, that ain't shit now. Nothing. That's like mid-level player money now. 60 fucking million for Jaylen Brown. And then 7 years ago, it was Mike Conley that we just thought was just a unworldly contract. Why is it always the player that's not even the top 10 player really that get the money?
Well, I would have gave it to Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown, I like him better sometimes than Tatum. I think, but they should have traded one of them. But
what you gonna get?
I don't know. Yeah, I like what Alora said though. Like, who's gonna help him build it?
Yeah, because he's gonna need help, and because the idea is wonderful because you don't have a lot of players talking about that. You had some people saying, I want to get back to the community, but he is talking about he wants the community to a black community where he come from to be independent on itself and not so reliant upon outside people, and I think that is so important. But this is the thing. He's going to have so many people come against him and try to tell him what he can't do. And he's going to need someone with a little bit more business savvy ideas, someone who, and I think he should be getting together with other Black people. You know, I ain't gonna say I don't want help from outside, but when you get outside help, sometimes those outside helps, they have their own agendas hidden into the fine details. So, but it's just like, how many other players can come on to the team? How about Diddy or somebody? Tyler Perry. This is such a great idea that I think the likes of Tyler Perry, the likes of Diddy, the Jermaine Dupri's, they should be trying to get on to this, because if we could start there in his city, think about how vastly this was spread across the U.S. and how that could help deter crime in our urban neighborhoods. Because you have to think, people commit crimes because they don't have access to things. Right. If you are lacking something, you're more than likely to be into the streets and doing things you ain't got no business doing. But if you have something in your own community, from your community, for your community, then you have a higher rate of being successful and wanting to do better and get in on the gravy train to creating your own brand.
You know what? You know what deterred people? When they got something to lose, when they feel like they have nothing to lose, when they feel like there's no ownership, when they feel like there's no value to it, or it's not theirs, they don't give a fuck about it. Our culture has the mentality of a rental car driver. Well, someone who rents a car driver's mentality. You don't give a fuck when they rent a home, you don't give a fuck how you treat it. You get a hotel, you don't give a fuck how you treat it. You rent a car, you don't give a fuck how you treat it. You use it, you abuse it, you leave it messy. You didn't clean all your trash up out the car when you return a rental car. It's a lot. And it's just, we need to grow for that.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I respect both your ideas, especially with the Tyler Perrys and the P. Diddy's and them. They got it. Worst case scenario, they probably could throw 20, 30 mil, just as a tax write-off, get it going.
Mm-hmm.
Crime and stuff only really happens in poor communities. Crime really doesn't happen. Well, crimes do. Listen, let me reword that. Violent crimes really only happen in poor communities. Rich communities, crimes happen too. It's just no one finds out about it because nobody calls the police. But violent crimes happen mostly in poor communities out of desperation. That's anywhere you go in the world. Any place, any country you go that's poor, you stand a good chance of getting fucked up because these people are poor and don't got nothing to lose. So if you own something and you have money, you have something to lose. So you're not going to do that shit. You're not going to do some bullshit if you got some money that you ain't trying to lose. Period.
Right. Right, that's true. So, I'm sorry. Are y'all done talking? Or before I was talking in my mouth?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I was wondering if you could put it in a box across the screen.
Yep, that's what I'm doing now.
I love you so much because you always be on it. But I would like to ask for the support of the Mahoney Valley community to help support my niece. Right now, she's pregnant with twins, and over the weekend, she lost her mother to a senseless shooting in the city of Youngstown, Ohio, and we're just trying to, ask for help. Anything helps to help her prepare for 2 babies and to help bury her mother. And this is really uncomfortable because I never think we will be sitting here on a broadcast asking, for this type of support. My sister, Florence Tawana Gray, Tawana, as many of you guys know her, was a big support in my niece's life. She was a wonderful mother, a wonderful sister, wonderful daughter. And they were planning a gender reveal for my niece, which she's having twin boys. I was hoping for 2 girls, but it's twin boys. And we're just asking for anyone to donate diapers, clothes, baby formula, baby bottles, anything that you can do. I don't care if you're sending $1, 50 cents, $5, $20, anything helps. we're just asking that everyone just support her with love. And if you can't donate anything monetarily, that is okay. Like I said, baby wash, anything that a newborns would need, we just ask that you would help. You guys can inbox me on Facebook at Alora Sakura Dannon, or you guys can inbox her directly at Nene Gray on Facebook. Or if you guys know any of our family members, inbox them and someone will be able to point you in the right direction if you want to drop off items, or if you guys want to donate any type of money, please donate to her Cash App directly. And we appreciate all the love and all the support that we have been receiving. Let me tell you, Youngstown, people could say what they want about Youngstown, but when it comes to tragedy and people needing each other, Youngstown do step up and they do show love. And I want to thank everyone for the outpouring support to my niece and to my mom, to my aunts, and to my cousins, all of us. Because anyone knows the Grays, we're all tight. We all like sisters. We the Gray girls. But thank you guys. That's all.
Reggie, you got any anything you want to add?
Nah, rest in peace to Juana. Y'all motherfuckers stop selling that fucking fentanyl. Being weird, killing people. Or y'all stop shooting people, being weird, killing people. It's stupid.
Yeah. Innocent. Had nothing to do with nothing. Innocent.
Oh man. I want to send a shout out to Stephen Gin, because I drank it and they're paying me for it. Now let me quit.
Petey Pablo.
Okay, Petey.
Yo, I just want to thank Laura for coming on. I want to send a shout out to those on the Laura Dannon show. My co-host, my boy Reggie. Bro, you always make podcasting so easy, entertaining, and always a chance to have conversations and walk away like I got some nourishment for the day. Laura, you always come in and provide the facts and hit it with the questions and add great commentary, input, challenge me when I need to be challenged, put me in my place when I need to be put in my place, and ride with me sometimes when I need somebody to have my back and ride with me. So I love potting with you. Shout out to the Normal Combos. It's a Normal Combos pod, right?
Yes, Normal Combos pod. Hey,
yeah,
boy.
Bobby Drake was in here earlier. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. Shout out to Twin and them. So to my girl Annie. Shout out to CL doing her thing. Shout out to Diallo Benz, aka Miguel, bro. Hope you get well. He's still going through a tough time as far as in pain and everything. So want to thank y'all for listening. Also, be on the lookout for the Madam and the General, Truth Entertainment Films doing a docudrama on the coup in 1991 in Haiti with Madame Tuyot, who was the first female president and also first Supreme Court judge in Haiti. She was assigned as a temporary president, and some people came through and tried to do a coup to take over the country and everything and stop Haiti from having a democratic process. So be on the lookout for the Madam and the General. It's coming real soon. It's just more things from True Films Entertainment. So we on our way. Oh yeah, shout out my boy Malcolm Walters. He was already in Judas and the Messiah. He was in the LeBron series that dropped on Peacock. Was it some of the game? I can't think of the name of it. The one that they did on LeBron's James basketball life or whatever the case. He acted in that, and he's out there in LA right now doing more films and everything. Malcolm's out there doing some great things, so shout out to him. So that's all I got. Okay,
shout out to the Haitians in general too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Haiti, period. I've been wanting to say that too. I want people to really look at the history of Haiti and look at everything that they have done and everything that they have been through.
Mm-hmm.
It affects you. Period.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me.
Oh,
they deserve respect.
Can I get some shout outs really quick?
Yes.
First of all, I want to shout out you niggas because I fuck with y'all.
And shout out to the Hughes Initiative too. Sorry about that. I almost didn't want to forget that.
Yeah, shout out to Robin and Hughes Initiative.
Yeah, shout out y'all. Shout out to y'all. But anyways, I need you two guys to come onto my podcast because I want to have an episode about toxic male masculinity. I feel like it is not a thing. I know it's not a thing, and I need some men's perspective on there. And I definitely need you guys because I know y'all gonna come with the shits. Definitely need y'all on. That's gonna be
What
a
day?
podcast.
What day?
I'm thinking Sunday. But if not this Sunday, we're gonna definitely do it next Sunday.
Let's go.
I will. I definitely will. Also, I want to shout out all the great girls, the Brooks. I love all of y'all. Y'all keep y'all head up no matter how far y'all are. We ain't spoken 5 years, 10 years. I love all of y'all. Keep on smiling. And shout out to my mama for having my fine ass. Love you.
Right.
Yo, peace. We out. God bless y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Check us out on YouTube, truthentertainmentfilms.com, Facebook. We're everywhere or somewhere, nowhere at all. All of that and the above. God bless y'all. Good night.